right? This is your opportunity to ask me anything, whether it's about credit, whether it's about fixing, whether it's about travel hacking, whether it's about business, whether it's about relationships, whether it is about taxes, talking to the banks, investing in real estate, ground up construction, multifamily, Airbnb, you name it, whatever you want to talk about. You want to talk about faith, you want to talk about family, whatever you want to talk about. I am here to answer away. We have a lot of questions because, full transparency, I just got back from um, I got back from Africa from the last 3 weeks, and just the other day, and I skipped out on the last two. Ask me anything. So my bad. We were doing a late, very, very late extended um, honeymoon for Jen and I. And so it was a great time. We went to Egypt. We went to see all the pyramids and travel around a bunch. It had some awesome tour guides, some Egyptianologists that like found some famous one that found like 200 pieces of uh, I don't know, like ancient artifacts and stuff, crazy stuff. Got to go in the tombs, like some exclusive wild things, and then went to Kenya, and we went to two different safari tours, which were incredible, like wild. Got to see lions, giraffes, zebras, all types of things. So anyway, that's what we were doing the last couple weeks. We were back better than ever, stronger than ever, excited, rejuvenated, and excited to pour into you guys. So, Aaron, what's happening? Hope you're doing amazing. Um, Merlon, what's up? Hopefully, I'm saying that right. What is happening? If you guys have any questions, I'm here for you. I want to open it up for any questions that you may have. Feel free to type it in the chat. I am here for you, though. I'm going to open it up for a couple questions that I have because I think there's like almost 30 here. I am not going to get through 30. I am so sorry. I'm not going to get through 30. But we'll keep going. I'll try to do some bullet points here and just rock and roll through it. All right, number one, it says, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, um, in the chat, in the webinar chat. That'd be awesome. And also, before I dive into this stuff, if you're not following us on social media, do that. I don't know why you're not or why you wouldn't. On Instagram, it's Brandon Elliott Investments. And then our business page on Instagram, it is Credit Counsel Elite. You can also check out creditcounselelite.com. That's www.creditcounselelite.com. But on IG, it has in our bio a bunch of different resources for you. Okay. We got gifts, we got resources. You can jump on and book a strategy call with either myself or somebody on our team to be able to bless you and figure out where you're at, where you're looking to go. And if you're looking to get up to $500,000 with interest rates as low as 0% interest, that's what we do. I want to teach you how to do that. We have a badass group of other entrepreneurs, real estate investors, business owners that are aspiring to get a massive amount of funding. We're teaching them within the community right now for Credit Counsel Elite how to do so. We've helped out over 4,000 members since 2017. If we can help them, we can help you. So would love to pour into you and help you out. We got our inner circle call actually happening next week, next Tuesday, talking about AI. It's going to be bananas. It's going to be awesome. So let's talk about it. Number one is, what's one money mistake you made early on that taught you a huge lesson? What's how many can I give you? One was a real estate, two real estate deals. One real estate deal was I ended up using credit cards, but I partnered with the wrong person. I didn't secure myself as well as I should have. I should have sat down with a lawyer. I should have gotten um, education on the process to be able to fully secure myself versus pay out of pocket with credit cards, giving me protection, which was great, but I didn't have all the backing with legal documents to be able to protect myself, and I got screwed over on $160,000. And back then, that was everything. It was devastating to me. It really mentally held me back until I got over it, prayed into it. God actually showed up in a powerful way, and I got a I got for the same dollar amount, I got a loan at like 3% interest rate, and that loan, it was just like a sign from God that, like, man, that same exact dollar amount, it was wild. It was just something that I wasn't expecting. And so that initial 160K felt like a loss for a while. Um, God recuperated it and gave it to me at a very affordable interest rate, very long time frame to pay it back. And I was able to learn from those mistakes, never make those mistakes again, and make millions afterwards. But that individual that didn't do me well ended up doing multiple people wrong and is serving a long sentence in jail right now. So karma is real. All right. All right. Number two. Here's another real estate one that I made a mistake on is I ended up doing my first real estate deals 3,000 miles away. I live in San Diego. The deals were over in Ohio. It was the Burr strategy, which is buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. So it was a fix. And so I buy it beat up from the feet up, starting to do the fix. I hire on a contractor. Well, I went through 5 contractors. Okay, they were all criminals. They were all bad. Had bad judgment, apparently. No matter how many books, podcasts, YouTube you soak up and read, you really need mentorship. Okay, I had to learn from all those mistakes, and I was equipped with the information. I made exceptions. I made exceptions, which I shouldn't have, but I made exceptions to everything that I learned and soaked up knowledge wise from books, podcasts, YouTube, and I tried. I was young, dumb. They thought I was from California, rich state. Didn't realize that I was struggling and all the other things, and I came up poor. So all that money that I had, it was all that money I had, and it was credit, right? So anyway, I hired on a contractor. I paid him in advance. I paid with credit, but I liquidated the credit into cash, gave him cash, and they basically staged the home as if it was done to get more money. And they just sent me pictures, and I didn't pay anybody to go over and verify it. So they staged it. Once I paid them, they took all that stuff because it wasn't installed, and they just returned it back to Home Depot. That was a big mistake. That was eye opening. Laurie, what's happening? What's happening, man? Hope you're doing well. Aaron, what's happening? Um, and then Marlon, what's up? Hope you guys are doing well. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat below. Greatly appreciate you. Oh, we got in the Q&A section. I see now. Sorry, my bad. Aaron, so you said if I don't have 689 credit, but I get denied for everything, I'm working on my credit, but how can I get personal funds? Marlon, doing great. Laurie, what's up? Doing well. Awesome. Um, Aaron says, I just don't have all the right fund to get into the program, but I'm willing to learn. All right, so Aaron, if I don't have, you're probably saying I do have, like, you currently have a 689 FICO score, but I get denied for everything. You get denied for everything because you don't know what to say on the applications. You don't have a bank relationship. Look, the biggest key factor here, Erin, that you're going to want to focus on, and it's not just you, it's everybody. There's 45 different rules. It's the checklist that underwriting is using to judge you and I. And that's just what it is. They have their checklist. They need to lend to us. They're just looking for high risk and low risk. They want to lend to the low risk. So there's 45 different checkpoints that they're looking at. Does this person qualify as a low risk or high risk? All the high risk, it's like a red flag. They're like, oop, that's an issue. Oop, that's an issue. There's things that are going to be in your control and things out of your control that will be issues. The things that are out of your control, you can't do anything. That it is what it is, right? There's other things that are something that would be out of your control is like, hey, you want to apply to this bank, but it's out of your region. It's a couple states away. You don't qualify in there. You can't do anything about that. When there's a will, there's a way. There's some other techniques you could technically, use different IPN, a bunch of different things to be able to, a VPN or travel to that area and so forth, things like that. But nevertheless, um, they're not going to approve you, right? There's other things that are in your control, like your average credit age is low. Well, add authorized users, boost it up. There's things out of your control and in your control. You want to realize that you're getting denied because you don't have a clue about the 45 rules, and because of those rules, they're denying you. When you understand those rules, you can basically, like, the banks, they have this box of lending. They're trying to fit you, place you with inside the box of lending to qualify. If you fall outside that box, you don't qualify. They're trying to get you in there because they financially and corporately move up the corporate ladder, and they're benefiting from it. They get bonuses when you get funding. Okay, so they want to. It's in their best interest. However, again, if you say the wrong things or do the wrong things, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You automatically step outside the box of lending. Okay. Does that make sense, Aaron? Let me know. If do you have any late payments, collections, derogatory remarks? Is a great question to ask. If you do, that needs to be corrected and fixed first. If it's older than 4 years, don't touch it. If it's less than 4 years, then touch it, fix it, go after it, especially if it's late or collections, hard inquiry, stuff like that. And then after that, you probably need authorized users. So you got to understand the 6 boxes, the 3 that make up your fix, the 3 that make up your build. Um, the build makes up 55% of your FICO. Once the fixing is done, add some authorized users, boost up you got to, it's all math. You got to figure out how much you need and so forth. But once you understand that stuff, you boost up your scores to the 800 club. And then it's not just about your FICO score. Then it's about, applying to the right banks, having the accounts, knowing what to say, how to position yourself. That's how you'll get approved and get the highest limits. All right, I gave you the nitty gritty of, let me see. Yes, I understand. I had one collection, but I have 19 inquiries. The 19 inquiries and the one collection you could probably get deleted. Why? Because the collection is typically pretty easy to get deleted. Number one. Number two is the 19 hard inquiries. You probably got denied, or at the end of the day, it might be business related. Regardless, they're probably not attached unless it's like an auto loan that you got one auto loan and you got 19 hard inquiries from it. Then that can show as attached. But usually you can get all those deleted fairly quickly. Some within 20 minutes worth of work, get it removed later that day. Others, it will be, an hour of your work and you'll see it removed in about 10 days typically. It's all the education, though. Happy to help you with any of this if you're serious and interested. It just takes money to make money and to be able to get these results. All right, I told you number one, which was what's one mistake? I gave you several mistakes that I made early on that taught me a huge lesson. Number two is, when did you first realize how powerful credit and leverage actually could be? That's a great question. So I think I was actually naive initially with, like, I wanted to get into real estate very bad. I didn't know how to do it. I went to the banks. I was cheap, couldn't get qualified for loans. I figured out, all right, well, I want to get this real estate, but I want to pay no interest. I figured out credit cards. I did that. And when it worked, it was kind of like, oh, wow, that worked. But I was still in the grind of it, like almost like a task. Like, okay, that worked, but now I got to do this. Now I got to do this. Now I got to do this. Once it actually was making money and I was done with it and it was like, cool, it's on repeat. It's like, I bought it, I fixed it, I rented it out, I refinanced it. I have no money into it. And now I got all my money back. Credit cards are paid off, and I think I was making like $1,700 from the one property, and the other property I was making about $900 cash flow wise for both of these. Okay, 1,700, 900 for another. That was almost more money. I think it was more money than I was actually making initially in my day job. per month. And I didn't have to do anything at that point. It took a little bit of work, but it was like my first time doing it. So I was like, oh, wow. So it took a couple months, did that. It sucked at the time because it was my first time doing it, a lot of learning. But when I did it and I was cash flowing that much, I was like, oh, I think that was the aha moment that I realized, like, holy smokes, I just need to do more of this so that I can get more cash flow. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I figured out like the whole uh, cash flow game. Like once I make more money passively in my sleep than I do, working, I've got out of the rat race. But it was more than that. Like, so I finally started stacking up a bunch of deals, not just one or two. I got like 4 properties and then even more and more. And I literally got within 2 years, I was making $10,000 a month. And I was still working my restaurant job of making like $2,800 a month. And so that was that aha moment of, well, I don't need the restaurant anymore. And I was actually spending more time doing the real estate stuff over the phone while I'm at the restaurant. So they fired me. And that was my first time getting fired, but it was also one of those eye opening things of like, I already had passive income. I was more focused on that. And so I started scaling that up more and more. Erin, how much does your program cost? We don't have one program. We have multiple programs, products and services, anywhere from $2,500 up to $50,000. $50,000 is for somebody that's making like multiple 6 figures that I look at their business and I know it requires more of my time, but it also, I can confidently and boldly say, hey, if I connect them with this, this, and this, and do these things with this route, within 12 months, they're going to be making multiple 7 figures. That's for somebody like that. Okay. That is very rare. It's like 2 people per year. It just takes up more of my time. But I have to be damn sure confident that, something like that can happen. So that's 50K is something wild. That never happens, just so you know. Never. The $2,500 is like for just the online course that you do on your own. We don't sell courses though. Really, we sell coaching. Because the program, like the course, it's only going to take you so much. It's going to get you 65% of the way there. It's really just to speak the same language. But coaching is where you're going to get clarity, education, and get the results. That's what matters. So we have multiple different products and services in between. Okay. Number 3, if you lost everything and had to start over today, what would you do first? If I lost everything and had to start over today, I would focus on sales and I would focus on something that I was very good at. And I would focus on something that people need. So that's what I would focus on. I'll give you guys a little tip right now. Like if I had time and bandwidth, like I would do this right now, because I truly believe this is an easy opportunity. It will require a little bit of sales. It's mostly going to be sales, but check this out. There, I think there was a statistic that I saw the other day that it is the biggest time in life right now that there's so many businesses out there and there's a ridiculous amount of businesses that do not have a website. And if you don't have a website, it's hard for people to find you. It's hard for you to rank. It's hard for anything to happen. Now, back in the day, it used to cost $5,000, $10,000 for somebody to create a website for you, or a couple grand. Nowadays, you can actually, there's AI that will build out a website for you in seconds. Not like forever, like seconds. And so what you can do is cold call all these businesses, look up to see if they have a website. If they don't, then call them and just say like, hey, I just created a website for you. I wanted to see like if you would be open to jumping on a Zoom call to review it. And if you like it, you can pay for it. And if not, then don't worry about it. And then ask for a referral, something like that. But you can charge like 500, 1,000. You can charge as much as they're willing to pay, but that proactive approach can be so good, and it's all a numbers game. If you call 50 of them, the chance and you talk to 50 business owners, the chances are you're going to get a lot of respect and people that are interested and people that are saying like, "Dang, I always did want a website. I didn't realize it could be this affordable. I like you having the balls to you already took initiative and action to call me and you're telling me that you already created one before you even talked to me. Like you took a lot of initiative and a leap of faith and time and energy and efforts. They don't know that you used AI for it. So anyway, that's a pretty cool way of doing it, and you can literally, um, yeah, it will take little of no time. It's just your knowledge, and then it's sales of you making that happen. But you could literally collect a boatload of money and help out a lot of people. And then you could even manage the website and so forth ongoingly, monthly, which you could get reoccurring money. So that for some young person or anybody could be really, really good right now. And I think that would be a very smart opportunity for anybody to jump into. If I had time, I would do it. All right, number 4. What's something most people believe about funding that just isn't true? Hmm. Penny, what's up? How are you? Laurie, what's happening? Marlon, what's up? Erin, hope you guys are doing well. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat. Let me know. Let me know. Erin, you said you were applying to loans and got denied. So when you apply to loans, especially if you ask for too high of a dollar amount, they're going to require documentation. If you don't have documentation like tax returns, bank statements, if you don't collect enough or show enough on those things, they're going to deny you. Okay. They're looking at debt to income ratio and so many other things. So, number one, all the loans that you got denied for, read the disclosure of why you got denied. Read the details of why you got denied. You need to know that information and bring that stuff to me so that I can give you education on it. But number two is um, when you get denied for one, you're going to get denied for more. So stop applying. Okay. Because now you need to do more credit repair because you've been denied 19 times, So that makes it more difficult. But don't go after loans. Go after business credit cards at 0% interest, ideally, if you're planning on leveraging. It allows you, when you know how to talk to them properly, you can get away with um, under the radar dollar amounts without showing documentation. We always do no docs or low doc type of funding. Hope that makes sense, Aaron. Um, did I answer that question? What's what's something most people believe about funding that just isn't true? Let me see. Some people believe that just because their FICO score is good, that they can get any type of funding. Not the case. Again, policies, bank rules, all that stuff matters. If you don't comply with it, you will automatically get denied. We've actually had somebody with an 840 FICO score apply for 7 applications on their own, every single one denied. It's because they didn't know the rules or bank policies. They just assumed, like everybody else nationwide, that their FICO score was incredible, nearly perfect, and they thought they would get everything approved. It's not the case. All right. Number 5. What do you do? What do the members who get the best results usually do differently? Um, they're usually in our inner circle, which is one of our elite programs, and that those are the ones that are getting 500, 6, 7, 800,000 or a million plus. Full transparency. Um, we haven't had anybody in the 90-day challenge get like we've had people get 500,000. We haven't had people get 600,000 or more that are in the 90-day challenge program. Excuse me. Um, Outside of that, what are they doing differently? They're taking action. They care. They have goals. They have um, discipline. They show up. They ask questions. They implement. That's what they do differently. Um, Number 6, what's something banks pay attention to that nobody really talks about? They pay attention to data. They pay attention to data. They have a lot of stats and statistics on all of us. And because they've been in business for so long, they have all these members, they have all this data in the computer, and they know who is high risk, who is low risk. Uh, they know who they want to lend to, who they're going to make money off of, all the things, who they're not going to make money off of. So they keep a lot of data. And so you want to consider that data, understand what the statistics are, and then try to fit yourself within that data box that will open up the floodgates of funding for you. Okay. Number 7. Was there a specific moment? Ooh, number 7. Was there a specific moment where everything started to change for you financially? I remember we hit our first $1 million, not just annually, but or income wise, but in the bank, um, right before I turned 30. Also, we had we closed on a fourplex that we made a boatload of money off of, and it really set us up for tremendous success. Great interest rates, no money into it, appreciation, tax advantages, the whole nine in San Diego, and that really set us up for success too. So just going bigger and better locations, more financial awareness and so forth, just good things overall. Um, Good deals, good locations. That was yeah, that was a specific moment that I remember where things changed. Let me think before that though, because well, if you're at I wouldn't say like a lower level, that comes off such a douchebag move. But if you're like working a 9 to 5 right now and you're making maybe 100,000 or less, or a little bit more, you're not making over a quarter million. I was working the restaurant industry and I was making like 35 to 40 something thousand per year off the restaurants. And then when I was making in the real estate, I was doing that on the side, and I got to a point where I was making 120 something thousand off that. So now I boosted up my income to over 100,000. It got to like 160,000, and I still had both, right? And then I started doing some coaching on the side and started teaching, and I produced an extra 40 something thousand maybe per year. Nothing crazy. Um, but once I got to 200 something thousand a year, then I started. I got asked. I was investing in myself heavily. I went to this one mastermind group. I paid $10,000 for it. It was in Cancun. We were there with 160 other real estate investors. I was a young guy, little guy in the group, but I had a dozen properties, making $10,000 a month, and I used it all with credit cards. And so I started sharing my story, and people were eating it up. They were shocked, and they started spreading the word. And it got back to the host, and they asked me to come on stage and actually talk about my story with credit cards and how I did it, and it blew everyone away. And I couldn't believe I did it. I was very introvert, and so at the end of the day, when I spoke about those things, they're in front of 160 other business owners and real estate investors and everybody that could use credit in the room. Like, that was the avatar, well qualified, and everybody paid 10K just for that week trip there, which I couldn't even believe I paid for. Honestly, we couldn't afford it. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but we did it. Um, and that changed everything because we had literally 30 people come up to me afterwards saying that how much should I charge to learn for this? And I didn't know what to say. And so I just came up with a number, and then I gave everybody a deal, and I had 20 out of that 30 actually say, hey, I want to move forward with you and do this. And so I started doing it, but I made $100,000 right there alone right away. and I started doing one-on-ones. And that one-on-one drove me crazy because I was doing like 8 of them a day for a whole month, and I felt like a parrot. I was like, holy cow, if I do one more call saying the same exact thing over and over and over again, I'm going to blow my brains out. That's aggressive. I know it is. I don't mean that lightly. I was joking. But full transparency, it was driving me crazy. And so at that point, I paused it. I said, time out, hold on, wait a second. I got to systemize this. And the analytical side of me was like, hey, I need to record videos on this and send it to people so that I can answer bigger, better questions. And that's what we did. And because I repeated those things 8 times a day for 30 plus days, so much, I was like a robot. I was like a parrot. So I knocked out the course in like a week, got it edited in another week, produced it, gave it to the community. They started soaking it up. It made it easier, better. And then I turned it all into group coaching. And I gave a little bit of one-on-one here and there, but it was more strategic and dialed in. People were getting incredible results, helping out a bunch of people. And I was elevating and delegating by saving my time. Now I felt more freedom, and it just started snowballing in that direction. Word of mouth started spreading, more people started coming on, social media started taking off. All these things, it just started compounding and really setting us up for success. So social media, people should not sleep on. Should not sleep on. You should not be just a consumer of it. You should be somebody that is delivering value and then soaking that stuff up, allowing other people the chance to soak it up as well. So that's what changed financially. I gave a couple different reasons there, or a couple different opportunities. All right, number 8, my lucky number, my favorite number. What actually makes someone look strong to a bank? There's so many things. The longer you've been with the bank, the better. The more products and services you're taking advantage of, the better. The internal rating that you have with the bank, the better. The more, not just a balance of sitting there, but your average balance. More transactions, 17 plus transactions a month is better. More money going in than going out over the last 30, 60, 90 days is better, or even 6 months. The higher credit card limits that you currently have, uh, that banks have given you, the better. If you have under $1,000 credit limit, no good. Banks are going to look at that and say, man, this other bank that you have a relationship with doesn't even trust you with $1,000. Why should we? Not good. Um, what else? Your utilization, ideally at the statement closing date, you can use and abuse it as much as you want, but make sure that it's paid off before the statement closing date, or your overall balance is 9% or below, or 29% or below, worst case scenario. Ideally, 1 to 3% is a good number for you guys. Keep that in mind. Um, what you say on your application, or do you have an entity? What state is it in? Are you trying to hide your entity structure, or like for funding, you want to be seen everywhere? So hiding your information and protecting yourself for liability standpoints with entities is not, like, those entities you want to put in Wyoming, Nevada, Delaware, etc. Those aren't the best for funding. That's not what you want to do. So there's a big difference between funding and liability standpoints with entity structure. So those are a handful of different things. There's many different pieces of what actually makes someone look strong to a bank, and what makes them look weak. Um, what's one, number 9? What's one of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make when applying for funding? Uh, they ask for too much, and it goes over the bank's threshold. Like Chase, for example, all banks have a threshold that they will require documentation. So somebody will say, "Well, I want as much as possible. Let me apply for 500,000 or 250,000." So when you do that, they're going to ask for documentation. They'll give you $1,000,000. You can ask for whatever you want. You can ask for $1 billion, but they're going to ask for documentation. Okay, there's numbers with each bank that they feel comfortable with no documentation being requested. It's so little to them. So Chase, for example, is 150,000. If you ask for 151,000, they're requiring documentation. So don't. Even if you make 15, 20 million a year, I've had members do that. They want to throw their junk on the table and say like, "Look at what I got." Don't do it. Don't do it. Trust me. It's better to do the no or low docs and stay under the radar, under the threshold. So um, make sure you're not asking for too much. You know what the threshold is. Ideally, you're going after just no or low doc type of funding. Number 10, how important are relationships with banks really? They're incredibly huge. It's one of the biggest things most people sleep on. One of the biggest things most people sleep on is just, they think, well, I have a credit card with these guys, but I don't have a bank account. That's great. If you had a bank account and then you applied for credit, you could probably get more, higher limits, faster, easier approvals, things like that. So there's going to be certain banks that it's mandatory and required. Other banks, no, it's not, and you can still get some funding from them. But trust me when I tell you, when you have a relationship, the know, like, and trust factor, it is in your favor. Think about this: if you were the bank and you had to lend out money, who would you prefer to lend to? Somebody that you know, like, and trust, that's consistent and reliable, or somebody random coming up and saying, "Hey, I want to apply for some funding. Give me 250." Something like that. Keep in mind, it's know, like, and trust. Excuse me. All right. Number 11. What do wealthy people understand about credit that most people never learn? It's leverage. Leverage. Most people don't understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. When we get funding, we're not buying $20,000 Gucci sweatshirts. We don't do that nonsense. We buy assets, we buy opportunities, we invest aggressively, and we have backup plans. What wealthy people do, what the rich do, is think about it. Like banks, their biggest asset on their books that they have is life insurance. Why? They're not buying a bunch of policies and just wasting money and stupid life insurance. On the traditional route, they have life insurance opportunities that most people don't understand, don't know, and don't implement. And they take out policies on all their employees and they borrow against it instantly. They also make it look like their employee is going to be protected and saved. If they pass away or something, their family gets 25 grand. That's cute, that's dandy. It comes with that little sign up bonus. However, they took out a $10 million policy on your head. And so if something happens to you, and they're playing the numbers game because they're serving, I don't know how many tens of tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people work for each bank, hundreds of thousands, if maybe. Uh, at the end of the day, those somebody's going to pass, and then when they do, the bank literally gets the life insurance of much higher. You get the 25 grand for the family. They get 10 million plus, and they leverage it. They put it into money marketing accounts. They compound, you name it. So that's just banks, right? Let's talk about billionaires, right? Let's talk about mega millionaires, not making $10 million. I'm talking hundreds of millions. That's the big difference. You want to look at, uh, you know, the modern day poor nowadays is $1 million. Like everybody should be aiming for $1 million minimum. That's just going to get you by. Okay. You got to just have enough money for a little bit of savings, a little bit of investments, a little bit of extra to be able to put things to work. But trust me when I tell you, billionaires, they don't take salaries. They don't take salaries. They take stock. Why? Because stock is not taxable. They take that stock and they can leverage it against banks. They go to banks and they say, "Hey, I will put my shares of stock to my company that's thriving, as collateral." and they will get the most affordable loans, like 1% interest rate, and they will get a boatload of that funding. Okay. And the bank is desperately wanting this thing to fail so that they can take that over, but it won't. Okay. They don't over leverage. They can, they crush it. And they're taking out a loan, which is debt. That 1% interest rate, it's nothing. It's barely costing them anything, but they're also writing it off on their taxes. So it's like they're not paying taxes, which is saving a boatload of money. They're not paying, like they're just crushing it. And that's, you want to learn from the wealthy, the rich, and implement the same things and flip the script. That's exactly what we like. That's how I geeked out on this stuff and figured out, well, these guys are doing this. How do we flip that and do it ourselves? Think about it like this. We give all of our money to the banks at 0% interest. I don't like, look at how much you made last year from having money in the bank account. Pennies, if anything at all. Okay. But did you know that they took that same exact money, these banks, and they lent it back out to us for personal loans, auto loans, mortgages, student loans, credit cards, retail cards, you name it, anything and everything, tenfold. And they've averaged 500 to 3,000% off of that money. Hello, that's a lot. That's smart. They leveraged our money. So, did you know that you can get 0% introductory funding anywhere from 6 months to 24 months, on average 18 months, from these banks? Why? Because they're competing with all these other banks. They want to win over your business. And they want you to mess up over time so that you can pay 20, 30% mafia rates to them. Just don't mess up. Play the game. You can flip the script on the banks, do the same exact thing to them. Leverage it, make infinite returns. All right. Number 12. If you were trying to build wealth today, where would you focus first? I think I mentioned something like that earlier. That tip and that trick that I said for businesses without a website. That's a crazy one. Great opportunity for anybody. Number 13. Why do some people make great money but still struggle to get approved? They don't know what to say on the applications. They think money's just gonna plow their way through. There's 45, not three, not two, not one, 45 different metrics on the checklist how underwriting is judging you and I. If you don't understand them, you will fail. So it doesn't matter about how great your FICO score is, how much money is in the bank, how much money you make, doesn't matter. If you screw up, if you screw up those 45 rules, you're destined to fail, my friend. Don't be shocked with that. Uh, Marlon, sorry, I'm just seeing your message right now. All right, so I'm looking at getting a loan from SoFi at the moment with a 641 credit score and was pre-approved through for 10K. But I have one collection that I'm working with a company at the moment in order for it to be taken off. Should I apply? If you were pre-approved, do you need to turn in documentation and get it finalized for the 10K? Number one. Number two is 10K going to be enough for you, and is that going to help? And number three is there's techniques and strategies that you can remove that collection yourself. You can go to, it depends on which bureau it's on. For Experian, you can call in. For Equifax, you can go online. Takes 15 minutes of your time. On TransUnion, you can go to transunion.com/dispute. You can go and put that, open a dispute on it and let them know that it's in litigation and that you've already challenged or you've already called in the past and no updates, and then submit it, and you should see it removed fairly quickly. So stop paying credit repair companies that are promising you the world when you should just pay for the information and learn how to do it yourself. But if you need 10K and you think you can get it, go for it. 641 FICO score isn't that great. You should get to the 700 or 800s. It's very doable. And In about 30 days or less, you should be able to get there. If you have all of your Vantage scores, if you have all of your Vantage scores are above 700s, but your FICO scores are in the mid 600s, are there lenders that go strictly off of Vantage scores? No, no, no. Vantage scores are fake. They're fake. They're for marketing material. Okay, they make the consumer feel good, but it's not real good because it's not legitimate. Vantage scores can go from 300 to 900. It's not legitimate. Real FICO scores max out at 850. Okay. Um, yeah, it's just not. Vantage scores are fake. Don't get caught up in the fakeness of it. FICO scores is what matters, and that's what banks look at. Um, Penny, you got something? I was just looking at my notes the other day about you. Hope you're doing well, man. Would love to catch up and chat. Is there anything that I could do for you, my friend? Laura, you got any questions? Marlon, did I help out on that? If not, let me know. Erin, you still with me? Let me know. Pet. Um, Let me see, where am I at? What number did I leave off at? If you guys could let me know, that'd be great. I think I answered number 13. Why do some people make great money but still struggle to get approved? Laurie, still waiting on the new entity. Yep, that's right. Still working on it, my friend. I want to get you the best deal. I want to get you. I think it's for Dana, right? So we'll get it most likely next week. Okay. I'll let you know the name and all the things. I need the email and the phone number, I think. Um, you're welcome. What is your opinion on using credit? Or okay, number 14. What is your opinion on using debt strategically to build wealth? Huh. What is your opinion on using debt strategically to build wealth? What's my opinion on it? That's what we do. I'm all about it. Difference between good debt and bad debt. I'd rather use good debt versus my own cash or using grandma's money. I don't have grandma's money, but uh, you know, Thanksgiving could be super awkward if I had a grandma that was rich or had retirement money or Uncle John or something like that, and you're messing that up or risking it. That'd be super awkward. So, difference between good debt, bad debt, and OPM, other people's money, versus OBM, other banks' money, all day. Number 15, what's one funding success story that really surprised you? Man, I get surprised all the time. I don't know. What's one that really surprised me? Keaton, one of my buddies, recently, he ended up getting approved for 780,000, and then that was just on his, and then he's working on his wife's, and she's at 300 something thousand plus at this point. And so I was just super proud of him, and I'm still excited and pumped for him on that. Somebody that surprised me back in the day, a couple years ago, this 19-year-old, he came to me with a 512 FICO score, a 512 FICO score in 10 days, just 10 days. He implemented the strategies and got his FICO score fixed and upped almost 300 points to a 810 FICO score. Okay. Very impressive. Very proud of him. And then he got 41 out of 40 three applications approved, over a 90% approval odds. He got high limits. He got 17,000 in free cash. Literally just at 19 years old, he had no job and he was just implementing everything that I told him to do, and he did it and he crushed it. And so very proud of him and what came about from that. But I get amazing stories all the time that I'm super proud of a lot of our members doing some cool things. And I've been on Zoom calls where people crying about, some of their FICO scores getting fixed and all these other type of things. And it's like, wow, it's very emotional and overwhelming in such a good way. 16, what are some red flags that instantly hurt approval odds? I think I explained this earlier. What's some red flags that instantly hurt approval odds? You saying the wrong things, the no like and trust factor, your FICO score, the six boxes, saying the wrong things, not working with a business bank relationship manager, not having an account, the bank rules, bank policies, the entity, the age, the name, the SIC codes. Um, yeah, there's a bunch of things. 45 metrics, just a couple. So those are some of them. In addition to all the things that I said earlier. Number 17, what if someone feels like they're starting from behind? Someone feels like they're starting from behind. Where should they begin? uh, if someone, I'm just like confused by this. This is funny. If someone feels like they're starting from behind, where should they begin? You're only as behind as you know, you say you are. Um, when's the best time to invest in real estate? 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 100 years ago. When's the next best time? Now. You know what I'm saying? It's like you've all heard that saying. It's so true. Stop worrying about the behind and worry about your behind and getting it to take action and do things now. Stop beating yourself up from the past and start focusing on the future and the present right now. What am I going to do in the present right now to build up for a better future in the future? Like I never think about the past. I learn from the past, and I my goal is to not repeat the past, right? But I am very full transparency. I'm more pessimistic in the present, and I am very optimistic in the future. The optimistic part in the future helps me focus on the present right now to get things done. Um, so yeah, I mean but I never think about the past. So if you're already feeling like you're starting from behind, get over it. Like stop that nonsense and start focusing on what you're in control of right now and take action on it. You know what I mean? 18, how much has real estate changed your life financially? Tremendously. Uh, Above and beyond. Uh, we've we have 14 million in real estate assets. We have no money into any of it. We have 4.3 million in equity that I could pull from any time, or I could, fire sale and make that money back like that. Um, we have millions in tax credits and write-offs per year. We get crazy appreciation. We get um, I've had great loan opportunities. I've had great learning opportunities. I've helped incredible people move out of their homes, find better places, great deals for me. I've employed a ton of different contractors, good people that have helped me through projects. I've uh, helped mom and pops be able to make a boatload of money by investing in some of our deals. Even some of our members investing in our deals, been able to get them strong ROIs, get them inspired and educated in real estate so they can do it on their own. Um, what else? We collect $50,000 a month off cash flow. I don't need to wake up tomorrow. I don't need to do anything. Like we still get paid. So it allows me to have time freedom, financial freedom, to be able to live my life how I desire. And I get very fulfilled with doing stuff like this and educating more people in the same path that I took to be able to get my time and financial freedom. And seeing other people do it within Credit Counsel Elite has been more more than words can describe. Very fulfilling and rewarding. All right, I got a bunch more, but I'm just gonna do two more because I'm actually very impressed that I'm crushing it. But now I just see that I have an hour into this, so not crushing it as much as I thought. But 20 is pretty damn good. So let me just Celebrate that for a second. Anyway, let's do it. Two more. We got 19. What's one financial move you wish you made sooner? Life insurance, the proper life insurance, doing that sooner, or compounding interest, uh, the, the ninth wonder of the world. Um, yeah, just reading books earlier is what I wish I would have gotten into sooner. Um, yeah, things like that. Yeah, wealth is knowledge is wealth. And so the more that you can soak up that stuff, the more that you can be very savvy. I'm trying to think if I have anything else that I would add on to that top of that. I know all these say like what's one. I always give like a dozen. I don't know. All right. Um too many to think of just one. Number 20, the last and final. It says, "What's your personal approach to balancing risk versus opportunity?" Yeah, that's a good question. These are all great questions today, honestly, but I like this one. So, what's your what's your personal approach to balancing risk versus opportunity? It um comes down to time frames and ROI. Okay? If you're okay with I like short time frames because I don't know what's going to be available in 6 to 12 months. Okay, there could be something incredible, right? So I always want to have my money working to me for me quickly. Okay, but I don't want small returns because that's boring and it doesn't get me excited. And because I'm young, I have time. Okay, um, so I want to compound it faster. So I get into aggressive investments. However, most of them pay off. There's a couple that haven't, and luckily because it's in short time frames, I know when it doesn't sooner than later. It doesn't take years to figure it out. Like, oh, they screwed up. No, it takes a month or two, 3 months. I find out, oh, they messed up. So I can take action on getting it recouped and recovered and fixed. And I can have backup plans. Plus, I can take my other money and put it to work and put it into something moderate or something that it's guaranteed to get that return and protect myself, to make sure my payments are all covered. So, um, yeah, that's I mean, it just comes down to time, dollar amount that you want to uh, make off of it. Um, how hands on do you want to be? And then what kind of backup plans. I'm a man of multiple backup plans. I believe in it. I really do think that everybody should have a couple backup plans just in case, not put all your eggs in one basket. Like, don't use your cash, use your credit, and then have your cash as a backup plan, worst case scenario. So anyway, that is 20 questions I just knocked out. Just knocked out. I like it. I like it. Penny, you got anything? Marlon, you got anything? Laura, you got anything? Any questions I can help answer for you guys? No? All right. Well, I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining today. Thank you. We are back, baby, and better than ever. Excited to be with you guys. I'm still sleep deprived. I got to get back on the normal time frame of San Diego. But I just want to say I love you guys so much. Excited to be back and pour into you. And if you haven't already followed us on Instagram, it's Brandon Elliott Investments. Otherwise, on Instagram, our business page, Credit Counsel Elite. Check out our bios in there. Follow us for more. And then check out creditcounselelite.com. We do we got a bunch of great info on there and happy to serve you guys. You can book a free call to figure out where you're currently at, where you're looking to go. Happy to jump on myself with you if you qualify. Would be honored to sit down with you, see how we can help you out. All right. What else? And then check out our podcast. Subscribe to that bad boy. Every single